So how much money can you make doing real estate wholesaling? So let me first say this, a lot. And I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean by a lot. So see this right here, this is Michaela. She just texted me the other day. Her and her fiance, Aaron Gaunt, they just did their biggest wholesale fee. They now hold the record for the biggest wholesale fee I've ever coached. It's $115,000. Crazy, right? Next biggest deal I ever coached was Michael Brown. You can see here from this post, $114,500. Crazy, right? Third runner-up and the first time I ever coached someone to do a six-figure deal, Scott Dallinger. I actually had him on this YouTube channel. Here's a link to that video. But he did 113 grand on his very first Driving for Dollars wholesale deal. Super proud of my students that are in the six-figure club for a wholesale deal. My biggest wholesale deal, I talked about it on my podcast as well as my YouTube channel here, was $103,000 for a straight assignment fee. I've done over $200,000 on fix and flips and on properties that I've held and then sold, but traditional wholesale deals, 103 grand is my biggest deal, right? So disclaimer, those are the larger deals that I've coached or I've been a part of or I've done, okay? I have done deals much, much lower, and I have students that have done deals for much lower, as low as $500 for a wholesale deal. So in this video, we're gonna break down how much you can expect, what your averages should be, and we're also gonna be talking about how much money you can make by working for another wholesaler and doing what my uncle says, which is earn and learn, young man, earn and learn. So let's dive into this and I'll show you exactly what you should expect and how you can do this. First, what you need to understand is the basics of real estate wholesaling, the process, okay? So let's say I find a guy named Bob, okay? And Bob wants to sell his house. It's a beat up rental that he's had for 30 years. He's wealthy, he doesn't want to deal with it. The tenants kicked in the door, the police kicked in the door, and they've got a meth lab, and there's all sorts of issues, okay? And so he's like, man, if you could just buy it as is, I don't want to deal with it. And I go, okay, Bob, I'm going to buy your house. We agree to buy the house for $100,000 from Bob. Okay, so me and Bob, we sign a piece of paper. Let's say this is the purchase agreement between me and Bob over here. So then I go over here to Sarah. I find a buyer that would love to own that rental. And her name is Sarah. And Sarah says, Zach, I would love to own that property. And I say, okay, great. After paying the assignment fee and paying for the house, what's the best offer that you could make? She says, man, if I was all in, I would be able to pay $150,000. So if I have it for $100,000 and she's willing to pay $150,000, I get to keep the difference. So what I do is I go, okay, Sarah, I have it under contract for $100,000. I'm gonna sell you my purchase contract for $50,000. So me and Sarah sign another piece of paper that says I'm going to sell the purchase agreement that I have between me and Bob. I'm going to sign and sell it to Sarah. She's going to close on the underlying contract for $100,000 and pay me $50,000. So I make $50,000. So there is no set assignment fee. There's no set percentage. There's no set commission, flat rates. There's none of that. It's just whatever you get it under contract for and what someone else will pay for the deal. Right? So you can make much, much more than $100,000. For example, if you find a property that's worth $10 million fixed up, is it possible to make $1 million or more on the deal? 100% it is possible, right? But let's explain something. The size of your wholesale deals will largely depend on what the property is worth when it's completely fixed up and going to a end buyer that's going to live in it or keep it for themselves. So let me explain. If you live in a part of the country where the house completely fixed up is only worth $50,000, is it possible to get an assignment fee of $100,000? Meaning, can you sell the purchase contract for $100,000? Even if the seller said, I will let you buy my house for $1. Most investors or even someone that wants to keep the house long term is not going to pay double what the house is worth fixed up. You need to understand that what your houses are worth in your area will also reflect what's possible for your average deal size. So let's break down what those averages will be and what you can expect. So my average wholesale fee here in Utah where I live is about $30,000. It's a little more than $30,000. Okay, but there's simple math. Let's say you've never done a wholesale deal. You don't know what your wholesale fee should be. You don't know what your averages should be. There's a simple equation that you can look at. What you can do is 10% of whatever the house is worth fixed up. So let's say you live in an area and a lot of the deals you'll be marketing to, your lower end areas, your cheaper housing, let's say the houses are worth $100,000 fixed up. So 10% of that is $10,000. So you should expect that you could be making on average $10,000 per deal, okay? So then the next question is, how much money do you keep? My suggestion, if you're gonna be successful in this business, you should be able to keep 75% of that money after marketing expenses. So let's say you make $10,000 on the deal. You don't want to be spending more than $2,500 on marketing. You want to be able to keep $7,500 of that $10,000 because you want to eventually be able to hire a team and have everyone do the work for you, go on the appointments and sell the opportunity and do the marketing and all those things so that you can move on and do other things and have time freedom and not just financial freedom. It's very important that you don't spend too much on your marketing. And that's why it's so important to have someone that understands how to do that and to do that well. It's one of the reasons my students are so successful is because of my Driving for Dollars marketing system that I give them with my program. With that being said, the next question I always get is, okay, how do I get started in this? I understand how much I can make. I'm super excited. I want to make a ton of money. It's amazing. I'm going to give you 2 things you can do to get started. First is hire a coach. I am a perfect example of the power of hiring a coach. I hired Tom Kroll. I was a broke window cleaner. He gave me the action steps. Within a month and a half, I did my very first wholesale deal. I made $10,000. 8 months after that, I made over $100,000. The year after that, just shy of $500,000, right? And, disclaimer, I did really well and I was very excited, but I was a window cleaner. I wasn't the smartest guy, still am not the smartest guy, right? And I do these kinds of videos because I want to give back. I want to help other people because it changed my life, right? So I highly suggest getting a coach. And you might be thinking, I'm saying this because I'm a coach and I have a program and I'm just trying to sell you guys. If you think that's why I create these videos and why I'm saying that, don't hire me. Hire a different coach. There's other coaches out there. I'm not the only person that's doing this and serving people at this level. Go through and hire a coach. Here is a link to a video that I created on how to identify what coach you should hire if you're debating on getting a coach, okay? So first and foremost, getting a coach. Another thing that I did in conjunction to getting a coach, I did this as well. I didn't just hire a coach and go to work. I also did what my uncle taught me, which is earn and learn. And so I got to know all of the wholesalers here in my market and who was doing deals and how many deals and understanding what was going on, and kind of got in their friend network because I wanted to have opportunities to work and to make money and to learn at the same time. I was able to land a job as an acquisition manager. It didn't last long. I got fired after like 3 months. Not a very good employee, I guess. But I took a job for 3 months as an acquisition manager. What that means is I was able to go and negotiate deals for that company. And I was able to talk to sellers and, cold call for them and call their lists and prospect and get good at negotiations. And then they were teaching me and coaching me on negotiations and getting better and better at it. So I took a job to learn at the same time as doing deals on the side. If you're just getting started, that might be a great strategy for you, especially my young audience. If you're young, if you're under 18 especially, and you can't sign real estate purchase agreements yet, this is a great way to get started. Go take an entry-level job for another wholesaler. If you want me to connect you with one of my students that's looking to hire people, I have students all over the country. I'd be happy to connect you with some of my students. If you're really excited about this and you're really gonna do the work and really be an awesome employee, don't reach out to me unless you're gonna be awesome, okay? Because I'm gonna refer you to one of my students. But take a job, cold call for them, drive for them, add properties, learn how to do driving for dollars for them, right? Maybe you could get a job with time or off the get-go as an acquisition manager. So let's talk about how much money you can expect to make in those positions. So the going rate for an acquisition manager, someone that negotiates the sale of a property with a seller is going to make anywhere between 10 and 20% of the gross money or gross profits that come in. Okay, so if your average wholesale, and so one thing you can ask is, what's your average deal size to the company that's doing the interview? If they say it's 30 grand, well, you know that you're going to be making anywhere between $3,000 and $6,000 for every deal that you close. If you're going to take a job as a cold caller or a driver, most of them are going to pay hourly plus bonuses, anywhere between $12 to $20 an hour, and then bonuses, right? And those entry-level jobs are great. So some of my best people on my team started off in entry-level jobs, driving, calling, and I've worked them up into sharing percentages of the revenue. There's more than one way to get into this industry, and it's not just going out and starting your own business. You can team up with someone else. If you guys have any interest in getting started in doing this, right? Don't procrastinate. Take action. Go apply for some jobs. Go find a coach, right? Please do not procrastinate. Watching YouTube videos and listening to podcasts, it's great, but there's a certain point that too much of it becomes what they call analysis paralysis, where all you do is research, but research isn't going to put money in your pocket. You eventually have to start getting uncomfortable and taking action and talking to sellers, negotiating deals and getting paid, right? So like I said, go find a wholesaler, reach out to me and ask me who could you work with in your own market. If you have interest in talking to me about my coaching program, I would be happy to talk to you. Go to dfdmastery.com/start now and fill out that little form, and we'll jump on a call. We can talk about what my coaching program, how it works, if you have interest in looking into my coaching program. Or like I said, go find another coach that you think might be a better fit for you if you don't think I'm your guy, okay? Anyways, I hope you guys got a lot of value from this. I hope you make an absolute fortune, and real estate wholesaling changes your life like it changed mine. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you in the next video.